Whoa, JD, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm gonna make this kind of quick because I'm gonna relax until I come back on to read. This is not to stare anything. It could be taken as that because you see the ISIS, the intelligent. Will you relax? What you looking at? Anywho, I'm gonna show a few pictures, but I just want to pull them up right quick and let a few more people come in. Okay. Well, the ISIS is Israeli secret intelligence service, and as I stated before, I have pictures showing some of those who were destroyed, the body remnants of ISIS fighters. Now, I'm not saying that it wasn't Arabs, but those who pushed it. One arm has the United States Army, another one has the Star of David, like on the bicep or something, in the part you can't tell what the arm is. We're dealing with an insatiable beast that when they have an agenda to push, they're going to push it no matter. Hey, Six Boss, what's going on, beloveds? They're going to do whatever it takes. Why am I saying this? Well, a lot of people have a hard time remembering this individual right here. I'm going to show the picture, and then I'll come back and read a little bit to inform you, or better inform you. Now, I know what it's going to say about the sister. Let me go to pictures. Pull this one up. I gotta scroll down. Hey, scroll down. Excuse me. Come on, dude. There we go. All right, I want to give you a good view. So you remember how the feminist movement started, right? Now, this is long after 1920, the 1940 March rule of thumb. You know, the pale skins, the adopted people, women who were married into certain families to make babies. That were put in incubators and all that stuff. The rule of thumb was they were very abusive to these women, especially if they got them and they were subpar. That's why I'm reading Heaven Bearers. Okay, so one of them worked for some research part funded by the CIA. She was CIA. The niggers, both of them lesbians. She was as well. Don't get fooled by the information when you look her up. All right, she was as well. That's right. Paid by the very same people who was taking over the government, and that would be the very people that's been creating all the wars and everything that you see going on, running around with a false identity, and the Zionists. I've had enough so-called Jews break that down for me in Brooklyn. Okay, it's not like I'm making it up. Now let's go back over here. Okay, so you know that's Gloria Steinem, right? Okay. I think the other one, her name was Pittman Hughes or something like that. Dorothy Hughes. Yeah, okay. So I think that was like 1960s or 70s, whatever. But anyway, let's go over here. Y'all can look that up for yourself. CIA ties and leader of independent research service. What's got to be researched in a world where everything was supposed to be fine, other than the fact that they created a war that should have been stopped. But they just had to have body counts, more people dead. In 1967, Steinman revealed in an interview with the New York Times in 1967 that she worked full-time from 1958 until 1962, lies, all the way through the 70s, at the Independent Research Service, which was largely financed by the CIA. Now, what is comical is all her work after that has been continual. For her to be in Ashkenaz. Now, why am I alluding to this? Who's behind want to take your gun rights? Okay. So we know that we have a certain group that first sprung their head up, right? Relax, Baba. Okay. Every town, whatever. Let me read them correct, all right? Because it's quite a bit. Okay, it's quite a bit of information. I mean, y'all can go and pull the information up for those who haven't, and for those who have, you know where I'm going with this. Maybe. Okay. And let's see, what does it say? Well, I've got it all here. I just want to make sure I'm going to read the right things. Because you got to remember, melanated women, so-called black women, we'll call them that because that's their whole apparatus was the destruction of our people. Dorothy Pittman came from an activist. And what was the activist movement? Well, it damn sure wasn't black power. Well, the ideology behind it meant, you know, power to death to the second degree. You know what I'm saying? But moms demand action. Every woman's every town, whatever it's called. There's quite a few groups. And Jewish woman's something. I forget the name of it, but there's a bunch of groups. They don't like to put them all right out there. For those who don't know. Now you got to remember, there's plenty of women's groups who are for the Second Amendment, and they're pretty much by this insatiable beast called media and this fake government. They will hide that. You know, the 9 to 12 women's groups who are much greater than every town out of Colorado and New York and all these liberal libtard states, right? The Moms Demand Action and every town USA and all the other crap, and the Jewish Women's Collegiate whatever, who they're the ones behind all of it. Because you got to remember, it doesn't matter what name it is. And it's a Zionist, because you got to remember who's paying for it. That monkey out of New York. Bloomberg. And Bloomberg is a staunch Zionist. It boggled my mind when I was there, and he was like, give the veterans this, that, and other. Now they don't care about the veterans, but they want to give everything to the immigrants. You've got hundreds of thousands of veterans homeless. And the system in cooperation with the ignorance of costume characters are defiably without the legal authority of anybody going after them as if they're public enemy one. You would think that individuals would use their own mind and have moral subjugation when most of them don't have morality, moral subjugation or anything, when they create an atmosphere when it's us against them, you know? You look at the FBI and the CIA, who's funding it? Didn't I put up a video showing the position of Zionists in our government? The problem is nobody paid attention to where they were. Now you have so-called Jews. I wish they would stop calling themselves, damn it, Jews, because they're not religious. They're not religious at all. We got Christians and call themselves Jews who don't even realize that there are Ashkenazis. They are not Hebraic. They are not Shemitic. They are the language speakers. They are not the original people, and they need to stop. But why are they not stopping? Well, you got goofy groups out there preaching hate, ministering on people with hate, okay? And people don't want to be dealing with those people. And I already stated that you got some feds, police who are working in those groups, and we can go right to the IUIC right off the back. It doesn't matter how much information is good I put out there. The contour is the part that they do that's very destructive. People have had enough of it because there's only a handful of those who call themselves Jews who are Hasidic, and they practice a way that is of decency somewhat, right? And they don't partake in rent and diamonds and jewelry and all that other stuff. They don't partake in none of the fiat the way they do. They have established themselves in a group knowing that there's a lot of those like them who create the problems. And they have, throughout the decades, spoke against it, but because the goofy media with Horowitz, Wolf Blitzer, we can keep going on, all right, who don't say nothing because they're part of the same diabolical movement, just like Henry Kissinger. You get where I'm coming from now? It's nobody wanting to take them. It's just them. They don't care about the Constitution, the fact that you created it. Most Negroes are pretty ignorant to that. So they don't care walking where nobody, because we're waking up, y'all are waking up, they don't care about dealing with that truth. And and to them, it's like, well, too late, sorry. Even though Bush did his thing to say, look, for the indigenous community, the real one, Obama even did something, but he turned around and changed a whole bunch of people's names that they had to go back this recent, not too long ago, and remove the African-American status because he was making everybody that was dead that was melanated African-American. Y'all aware how many millions of dollars he put towards that? That is not of the people, by the people, for the people. And to find out now, yeah, he is a Muslim, that he is a foreigner, he is not American. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? So you saw the picture, right? That was to further create a divide, separation, and to push, be the first part in the 70s to push more of the gay, lesbian, homosexual agenda. Obviously, they call it agenda. There's nothing normal about it. It's always about an agenda. You ever sit up in the church and you hear the ministers and deacons go, what's on the agenda for today? Why does it have to be an agenda? Well, I broke this down before. We're going to do setting and theory first. Agenda setting theory describes the way media attempts to influence viewers and establish a hierarchy of news prevalence. It is predicated on the idea that most individuals only have access to one source of information on most issues. Who would create that? CIA. Let's go over here. I don't mind saying what needs to be said, because you know what? People have a hard time interpreting certain things because, you know, the world you live in, right? So, as far as the dictionary, now I'm not going to go for a date, but we're going to deal with in the Oxford as far as language. A list of items to be discussed at a formal meeting. The question of nuclear weapons had been removed from the agenda. That's to give you a little in sentence. An appointment diary, to meet something based upon a statement or something agreed upon. Well, what did George Orwell say? I'm just saying, I know everybody knows these things, okay? I just want to bring a little more clarity so we don't bring the nag into it, okay? Oh boy. And y'all know this is one of my favorite sayings. I know it verbatim, but I want to actually read it, okay? Well, anyway, we already know that he said every record has been destroyed or falsified, every book has been rewritten, every picture has been repainted, every statue and street and building has been renamed, every date has been altered. That means change. It's something agreed upon. If you go to Isaiah, right, where does it say you about how they call themselves the synagogue of Satan? Well, they call themselves Jews, but will be the synagogue of Satan. And it's the decisions that are agreed upon that by them, you know, those who conspire, okay, against the actual original people. Now, that does not remove or disembark other people from existence. When I speak of the earth, I speak of it in its totality. The reality of it is this is ongoing and we didn't create it. Okay. Have you ever heard about the MK Ultra system? Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I've discussed that numerous times, but I don't want to get into that. We're beyond that. That's something that was started around the 50s, incorporated in the 60s, and put thoroughly use in prisons and experiment with military personnel, even the 5G on me in 87. That's all part of it. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's keep on track here when I'm discussing. All right. ISIS, the fighters, the pictures. You could probably go to the dark web. I would advise you not to go to the dark web, but you could probably pull up pictures of body parts from that war showing the ISIS fighters. A lot of them probably like special forces, members who once trained in America and fought for the Israeli army. Because we know that Mossad was created by Netanyahu. Netanyahu don't care about nothing, as the Zionists don't, and the people there. But there are people who are Jews who are tired of you're not even hearing how some of them are getting locked up. The Hasidics, they're like, stop this madness. What is this crazy? And they're the ones not going to people's homes. It's these idiots that come from here, go over there, and they just walk and take people's homes with M4s, and they just go and say, get out of here. Most of the ones coming from here in Europe, those are the bastions of uncivil individuals who are nasty, who are showing in their DNA. Because what I found out from a friend of mine, another friend of mine whose doctor says, they were never allowed to inoculate the children. That's why the so-called Ashkenazis, their babies aren't born in the hospitals. They are born there, and they don't go inoculating them. So why is nobody having that Because because a few of them have told people, hey, look, we don't do that. We don't do that over there. You know what I'm saying? And yet our people, and they're lazy, because, you know, our women, all they can think about right now is and putting weave on and everything else, sitting around having little beauty parties, drinking mabusas or whatever them things is called. Like, come on, guys. When are we going to reach out to our sisters and say, the madness has got to stop? You can't go where they all doing shooting and killing, because they need some big brothers to talk to, but there's no big brothers that really know how to listen, because most times they're beating them down instead of actually having a conversation saying, why y'all doing this when these are the ones that probably created it, and all y'all together, you could build a city. You know what I mean? Yo, JB, what's going on, beloved? What's happening, everybody? My thing is, what I wanted to get across is Israel just bombed their own people having a gala, a party of some sort. They are warlike. All they can think of is destruction. They don't care who they kill. And now our so-called fake government is ran by these bastards. That's why they want your guns. That's why they need you divided and separated. Some people will say, well, you moved way out there. I had to get away from y'all because you were crazy. Y'all didn't have no sense of respect, responsibility, or moral subjugation at all. I removed myself. I parlayed, I partied, I watched, and I listened, and I said enough. And I dealt with a fake marriage, and I got away from her. And when I thought that maybe she still has some love because I could bring her into a different fold, I see she's still a hypocrite. I want no ties and nothing to do with her, though I don't hate her. She will not wake up. She is stuck. Just like the one privy to that. The one I should have married in that fake, she wouldn't have done a Christian marriage, was my first daughter's mama. The very dark, chocolatey, I mean, she was about this dark. But she looked like a Pocahontas or a Hollywood, and short, about 5'6", 5'5". Fine. You hear me? But she didn't want to infringe. This is a real woman. She didn't want to infringe on my career. When the baby was born, her brother had to tell me. She didn't want to disrupt. She didn't want me to be part of no child support, none of that stuff. That was to further keep us down. Part of the systemic thing created by these very Zionists. Because see, the moment we arise above the occasion, that's why I said it was so important that when I opened that bank account, that I wanted the $100, $200 to put in there and say, everybody, I need some of y'all who can travel to come. We're going to take that money. We're going to go look at some lands, and we're going to join together and say, this is the money in this account. How much land do you think we should get? And when can we start bringing the families to start working, put up some hot tents? That is what I was thinking about. And everybody, you shooed me. I'm not Umar, who wants millions of dollars to build some fictional school that don't exist. To make a book, I could do that on my own. I don't need anybody to pay a bill that shouldn't exist. What I want to do is be able to share responsibility. And look, there's some pale skins that would have came. All right? Would have came. And they would have been just as welcome. But we would have took it right from the tip and carried it to a certain point. And we would have made it something. I just wanted to broach upon that. I'm going to go ahead and finish watching my Django. I was actually reading this and I put it back in there. I wanted to see where they lied at. And it should have never been called the Book of Dead. It should have been called the Book of Living and How Not to Die. But they've changed things. They made it the Great Expectation of Death and how to transverse. It's not about ascension. They have perverted a lot of true history. I'm going to leave that at that. I would like to see one of them come and challenge me. And they will never come and challenge me. Just wanted to share that. I hope your day is as fruitful. And I hope that, you know how I feel about hope. But I'm using it because of the term, and though vague and loose, that you are more understanding about. I really seek that your day is responsive to self and the betterment of self. Because the enemy doesn't know what stop means. Your enemy needs you to be an enemy to yourself. Y'all's enemy cares not one thing about you, nor do they care about you waking up. That just means they go to the next because they believe that they're 100 steps ahead of you. You see what I'm saying? We need to get our stuff together before those lights from a treaty to migrate to America. When that happens, we're not going to allow it. Trust me, I've already seen it in a dream. I've seen some things, y'all. If they were smart, they'd pick up arms against their system and stop the nonsense, because in 1948, they disembarked 65,000 Palestinian families to create this fake Israel. And Israel's not a place, it's a people. That was their first mistake. And these Negroes running around talking about Hebrew. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, so I'll speak Hebrew. They are a construct of the like-mindedness of like those what was his name, Master Farad, who was no master, but a master to the niggas, who created the first Hebrew movement in 1930, whatever, in Harlem, New York, and the one who was a pedophile, I'm not saying his name, and the AME Church, and a few other organizations. Yeah, with all his 40-something identities. Okay? He even had the nerve to go to Jamaica, the Caribbeans, Panama, and sway them into out of Africa and everything else. He was part of the League of Nations, an OSS operative. All right? So when you start speaking those things and people start going, well, wait, what? And then gets locked up and just disappears. We still need some more donations, guys. We're almost there. I went ahead and ordered about, I think it was 20 books. That's a lot more. I went ahead, I broke down. I was like, I gotta get some more. Oh, let me see. It's just me, y'all. Just me. I hope you appreciate that. Okay. No. We continue. Okay. So, orders. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no! I really did. These are the orders. I ordered 20 books, y'all. And there's a lot more. There's still 46 books to order. So, there's plenty of money to order some more. But I just ordered 20 because even though we still got to read these, I would rather have them here before anything else disrupts it. You know what I mean? Like, people don't know they're actually in martial law, which is illegal by the definition, but in movement. Just letting you know. Okay? Appreciate y'all. Number, love, and respect. Some things to look at if you haven't already. All right? Don't get caught up and fanciful in it. I see people sharing information based on things I talk about, and they're finding so much stuff, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Sisters, when you come in here, and brothers, I don't know if Snoo came in. Did my baby girl come in? Snoo didn't come in? She's busy, y'all. None of the sisters, well, you know how it is. They work hard for their money. It's good to have y'all here, beloveds. I see y'all here about 4:35 o'clock and get a good read on. All right?